Hello, Maurits here. This will be a short video about resistors. You have seen the very big ones we used for power applications at the school. Here we have smaller ones. These are 470 kilo ohms, or it's now 470 ohms. Oh, we can check. This is 470 ohms or kilo ohms. It's hard to read that one. I can measure it across one of them. So 0.471, so 470, yes, 470 ohms. They are mounted in these kind of rails because these are usually fed into a machine that mounted onto the circuit boards. So if you buy a lot of them, they arrive in this way. They simply cut away from these rails. They are basically big rolls of those. What I usually use is not that kind of resistors. What I instead use is very small ones. We can check here. This will be this book. It's a sample book of resistors, and you can see there are a lot of them, and the size of them, if you compare it to my finger, each of these little things inside there, each of these, they are a resistor. So you can see they're quite small. And the reason one would make them the smallest, of course, to be able to shrink the whole circuit board and the whole, for example, mobile phone, whatever one works with. So I use these quite often, and I use, I can show, I use that microscope whilst working with that kind of components, because it's very hard to work with them without that. These ones arrive also in these big rolls. So in machines, they are basically fed into the machine, and the machine will place them on the circuit board automatically. You can see that's a big roll of that kind of components. Why do I happen to own this one? I own a bunch of these because I got very cheaply, and if I would live about 10,000 years, I might have to buy another roll. So these will be used by other generations, so to speak. On a circuit board, this is a circuit board. This is about 20 years old. It really doesn't matter. It's an old mobile phone. It doesn't matter so much because they look the same today. This is from a Panasonic mobile phone. One of my old phones. And we can see here these small components here. I will, if I can focus a bit closer here, a little bit more light also. So we can see here these small resistors and capacitors. I worked quite much with this when I had in my firm. We worked with electronics, and you really must be steady on your hand to change components like that. And that is an IC circuit, and you can see the pins. They're very small. It's hard to solder. These ones you don't even see the pins because the pins are on the back side of them. It looks like that on the back side, so it's soldered down onto the board. Equipment to change one of those, we had that at my firm, and it costed about 370,000 crowns plus VAT, so they're not cheap. So there you can see a lot of small resistors and capacitors. We will talk about capacitors later on in the course. I can also show a little bit of my rather messy electronics lab. So we can see a bunch of different, that is a very good soldering iron. My screen that is connected to the computer that I use when I program microcontrollers, a very good oscilloscope, power supplies, frequency counter, signal generator. This one works up to a few megahertz. This one can count frequencies up to, I don't remember now, it's nanoseconds, so gigahertz. And that one also can work up to gigahertz. And this is an older digital oscilloscope that I have from my old firm. And these boxes are boxes of components of different kinds. So, and also over there, and it's quite messy, but that's okay. At least as long as I find my way around here, which I usually do. These are ongoing projects in a messy state. But anyhow, I just want to share this. Ciao.